Companies are now offering non-traditional benefits like egg freezing and childcare to attract employees. But who is actually getting the most out of this new progressive trend? Joining us to chat about it is the host of In Case You Missed It by HuffPost, Heather Gardner.
Hey! All right, guys. First of all, I am super offended that y'all talk about Game of Thrones. I had to wait right there and not chime in the whole time. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Happy Monday.
You get to pick the stories. You're gonna be like, in case you missed this week, it's about Game of Thrones.
The next 3 weeks, we're talking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We can make some connection like Daenerys and the dinosaur, the egg, dragon eggs, egg freezing.
I still think she's pregnant. Maybe she freezed her egg.
Wow.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Possible.
Probably not, but it is happening in this country.
So what is this trend of businesses helping their employees pay to freeze their eggs?
Yeah, this is super new, super controversial for a few different reasons, and it's happening in a lot of different companies, especially tech companies. They are offering incentives to get women to stay in the workforce, get pregnant later by offering up to $20,000 to freeze your eggs.
Wow. So who's really benefiting the most? Is it the company or the workers?
What did you guys think, though? I mean, your first thoughts when freezing eggs, because that's very personal.
Yeah.
And for a company to step forward and say, we're going to help you delay motherhood. I mean, I have a few mixed feelings. Not gonna lie.
I think both benefit. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea is that you're allowing women to stay in the workforce, and women, I think, are smarter and capable and good and good coalition builders. And I think they're saying, what if women can stay working for us longer and freeze their eggs, and that's we benefit because they're in the workforce, and they benefit because they get to pursue their career.
I'll say that my friends who have had children, the mom tax is very real.
Oh,
And after they have
totally.
their children, getting back into the workforce is sometimes impossible. So I think if you have the openness, the liberty to delay maybe things 2 or 3 years to give yourself time to get more stable in your job that you've probably worked a decade to get, I think that's fair. I'm totally down
Absolutely. The downside of this is that they're only offering $20,000, which seems like a ton of money. But the reality of it is it costs about $15,000 to even get that procedure.
Yeah.
And then to get pregnant a decade later, perhaps, that's cost you another up to almost $30,000.
And you have to pay to keep your eggs frozen every year.
Oh, absolutely. And that can cost, I think, up to $1,200
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I ain't got that money. Even if my company helps me, I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, so it is controversial. And like you said, like keeping women in the workforce is good, but how many companies aren't offering women to leave and come back? Like that's the bigger problem here.
Yeah.
And we see that with these other controversial things that companies are offering too, childcare, which doesn't seem controversial at all. That seems amazing. And companies are like, we're gonna give you childcare. Asterisks, we're gonna make you pay for it. Yeah, I mean, it seems so nice on paper, doesn't it?
But is it like a discount?
No, actually no. Some of these companies who are offering childcare are not offering you discount. They're offering competitive rates, which we talked about this on the show before. It costs about $10,000 a year on average in America to care for a child, to put them through preschool and daycare and things like that. And they're offering competitive rates. So basically the caveat is we're gonna offer you childcare here in our facilities to keep you in the office longer.
And it comes out of their pay, though?
I'm not sure, actually. I think
So,
you can pay into it or it comes out of the pay. I'm not entirely sure. But still, again, you're here in the office, which, I mean, in one hand is good because you don't have to have the added stress of going to 3 different places for childcare. But man, who's benefiting? The companies.
It really says a lot about just work-life balance. A lot of these companies want you to work more than 40 hours. You know, even it's like you're on the clock forever. What time do you even have to have a family to begin with? And like you said, maternity leave is like most of other countries. We're the only one that doesn't have paid maternity leave. So it's just like, you know, some countries have like a whole year. Then you can take off. So it's just, you know, clearly we are having some gaps here, and it's like having corporations take over those gaps. I mean, there's going to be a problem with that.
I mean, having a year paid off is such a progressive trend, and we only see that in just a few countries in the world. But I mean, there's no guarantee in this country that you can just have your position back. The position you left in 3 months, there's no guarantee you can get that back.
So do you think the best thing to do is, because we know as we see the debate with healthcare, especially women's issues, that this should be done on a federal policy level?
Absolutely, it should be. I mean, it's great that companies are stepping up and they're saying, hey, we're gonna give you options. We're gonna give women specifically options. But I think it's just the companies having to fill a gap that should be, you know, something that the federal government has to fill. And I mean, like I said, it's twofold. It's good for women. It's good for, like, you know, that progressive side, because our parents didn't have any of that. But it really says a lot about our country as a whole and everything that we're missing.
Is there something that fathers can do, like that the husbands or partners of these women who are getting pregnant can do to help them?
Well, I think the better question is, what can companies do to put parenting not only on just women? Because I mean, these are things that we didn't even get to talk about the other benefits. Like Goldman Sachs is making they're shipping breast milk to people who work overseas, which is crazy. And they're sending emergency nannies. But again, this is all based for women. I think companies really need to have a conversation about what can men do to help the parenting situation, not just companies, society in general. It just falls on the woman in this society.
Well,
and the companies are just helping women, but they're not having conversations about paid paternity leave.
Yeah, our company actually does have that, and I know a lot of my coworkers, I think they get, they can split the time, so they'll take some time at the beginning with their partner, and then when their partner goes back to work, then they'll take another month or whatever. It sort of helps that transition.
Right, and studies have shown that basically when it comes to, like you said, the mom tax, it's women who have to leave the workforce and maybe can't get back in later, and it's those years that the gap of the gender pay gap gets wider and wider. And sure, we can throw breast milk at it, we can throw freezing eggs at it, we can throw childcare at it, but until we decide that, raising children isn't just solely on women and that fathers can be a part of that too, and fathers may have to step back and leave the workforce, I just don't think it's gonna be even.
Preach. I think
Paula,
Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining
thanks.
us. And you can catch In Case You Missed It by HuffPost on HuffPost.com and Yahoo's Roku channel.